Yo, what's up, everyone? I wanted to talk a little bit about entitlements tonight. So, what are entitlements? Um, Something you feel that you have the right to, right? So, you feel entitled to this or that. We have the government promises us many entitlements. They promise us the right for this, the right for that. Our constitutions promise us many entitlements. But as a culture and microcultures all around the world, they feel entitled to certain things, and in relationships and in everything, right? You feel like you have the right to something, and so, but entitlements are not helpful for spiritual development at all, because you lose humility and you lose power, basically, because all of these entitlements are things that are out of your control many times. Let's just say some government rights, like, I don't know, the right to bear arms, or the right to own property, or whatever entitlement you want to choose. But any of these things, they're not in your control, and they're not yours, essentially. So God doesn't give you these rights. They're not inherent rights. They're given by some authority, or your own perception, right? But none of these things are yours, really. Even you can go as far as saying your body isn't even yours. It's not yours. Your body can be taken from you. You can be killed. You can be shot. And everything, any material thing, can be taken from you. And you don't have a right to those things. Anything material, you don't have a right to. So what are we entitled to? Is there anything that we can be entitled to? Yes, the answer is yes. What entitlements does God give us? And the answer is God is basically what we're made of. What our essence is made of is what we have the right to, because that's what we are, and if that's what you are, no one can take that away from you. No one can take away what you are from you. And what are we? And what the answer to that is that we are free will and we are love. And those are the two basic substances of your consciousness. So you can choose. No matter what happens, you can always choose. No matter what anyone says, anyone does, no matter what's happening in your life, you always have a choice. No one can ever take away that right, that entitlement from you. Now, the second entitlement that we have is love, is the innate nature of love. And the essential right is the combination of these two forces, is the right to choose to love. And so that's our only inherent right. That's the right that God gives us. that no one can take away ever. But that is all you need. That is what, it's not only all that you need, but it's all that you want and all that you will ever need or ever want. And that is the beginning of everything, of your grand fulfillment in life, and everything is given to you as a right. So God gives us the most important things that will fulfill us in the end. He doesn't give us rights to petty things that will not. He only gives us the golden keys. And so God doesn't give us the keys that don't work. God gives us the golden keys that work. The ultimate answer. God doesn't give us just lower truths. God gives it to us all. And so it's kind of, when you think of entitlements, you think of, okay, well, I have to give up all of these rights that I think I have, and I can only stay with the right to choose to love. Like, it doesn't sit well with a lot of people, right? Your right to just any right you think you have or you're entitled to, whether at work, whether in a relationship, whether you think you're entitled to protection or anything. But all of these petty entitlements, if we hang on to them, they don't lead us to anything. They don't lead us towards the kingdom that we want to reach. And so that's why God doesn't give us the right to those things, because they're going to be taken away eventually. And even your body, your life, we call it your life, but it's your body, right? So, but the only thing you're entitled to is your consciousness, which is that right to choose and the right to love. And those things will never, they're eternal in you. And your consciousness is eternal. They'll never be taken away, and you will always be with yourself. That's the only person you can't escape from ever, is yourself. Because you're always going to be with yourself, with your consciousness. Your body might leave and everything might leave, but you will remain. But so it's kind of like the saying in the Gospels of Jesus, give your life and you will gain your life. So it's like giving up everything, but at the same time you find everything. By giving up all these entitlements, you essentially find what you actually needed, and you never needed all these other entitlements. So, and we suffer a lot from this, because whenever we start getting comfortable and start achieving things and gaining a sense of power in life, we become arrogant, we become boastful, we become entitled, and we think that we're entitled to this, and it's my right for this now. But all of these things can be taken away. Everything in the external world can be taken away from you. And so our only human right, essentially, is the right to choose to love. So, and all other rights that we think we're entitled to debilitate our mission on this earth, because they're out of our control, and trying to keep control of things that are out of our control just debilitate us. We become victims, and this is the victim. What happens with many developed societies, there becomes a victim mentality. Everyone's a victim. Everyone's, for small petty things, everyone's a victim. Everyone feels like everyone's attacking them, and everyone's trying to get them, because they feel that they're entitled to everything. If you feel you're entitled to everything, you're going to feel attacked by everyone, because no one's playing by your rules, and no one's respecting all of your entitlements. And so you feel threatened by everyone and everything. Just a clear, simple example, a petty example, is driving. So when you go to more underdeveloped countries, there's not a sense of entitlement as much as there are in more developed countries towards driving. Well, the United States, I don't really know Europe that well, but I'm talking more about the United States. There's just more of a sense of entitlement. Like, if you cross this line, I'm not gonna act defensively. I'm just gonna crash, because it's my right to continue on this line. So there's much more of a defensive driving, like let's say in Mexico, right? Or in Chile, versus the United States, because they don't feel entitled, like they have the right to drive. It's kind of funny, but when I think about the way they drive, but there's just a lot more defensive driving, and so what happens is it seems like there's less accidents, even though it seems like a lot more dangerous to drive down there. But a lot of accidents are caused by that sense of entitlement. Like, I'm not stopping. If someone pulls in front of me, I'm not stopping, because you just violated my space. But anyway, that might be a bad example, but that's just one simple example of entitlements. But we all know what entitlements are. Everyone feels like they're entitled to. A lot of people talk about the new generations coming up, how they have a sense of entitlement and things like that. So I just wanted to touch on that tonight, that the more you think you're entitled to things that are beyond your control, the less in control you're going to be of what's important. And that is your internal space, your choice, and the choices that you make. And essentially it's that choice to love. As long as you're making that choice, that's the only right you will ever need. So I leave with you tonight that thought, and I will see you tomorrow.